Hi there, my name is Pascal and I'm a personal trainer here at FIU. We at the WRC team would like to bring you some at-home workouts for you to do anywhere, anytime. For our workout today, we're going to be doing some core and some balance training. So the first thing that we're going to be working on is the balance part of the workout. What a lot of people don't realize is that the role of the core is to stabilize the trunk. So whenever you lean over or focusing the balance, your core has to stabilize you to bring you back to center. So that's why we're going to be working on some balance training. So for this component of the workout, we just need a wall, or again, something that I can hold on to in case I do lose my balance, because safety needs to come first. So I'm going to be using this, but for your purposes of you at home, you can find other variations. For example, for some of you, maybe standing on one foot is easy enough. Maybe for some of you, that's really challenging. So one way to make it a little bit easier is to cross your feet over like this and try to maintain balance this way, and then bringing them back and then doing it this way as well. Again, a more challenging way is by sitting on some kind of uneven surface. So in this case, I have this ball, which is very hard to balance on. Even I have trouble balancing on it. So I'm going to be focusing on holding onto the wall until I found some sort of balance. I'm going to slowly bring my hand away and just focus on balancing for as long as I can. What I'm focusing on here is that I want to make sure that I'm not rolling my ankle over, inside, outside, forward, back. I'm really focusing on trying to keep it centered. So the more difficult it is, the more you're going to struggle to keep your foot still. So as you notice, my foot immediately wants to collapse over. So again, I'm going to grab onto this wall, find the center, and then try again. The next exercise that we're going to be working on are shoulder taps. This is a fantastic exercise, which is a lot like a plank, where I am going to be horizontal and my core is going to stabilize me to make sure that I don't fall over. So to begin the movement, I'm going to assume a push-up position. Notice that as I bring my hands up to tap my shoulders, the load comes all on one shoulder, which means I have to stabilize myself with my shoulders. Now, this might be easy for some of you, this might be challenging. If this is challenging, keep going and just keep until you get better. Now, if this is easy for you, you can make this more difficult by crossing your feet over and making a smaller base of support. This increases the need to stabilize from your core. Another way to make it more difficult, we have two more ways. We have the balancing board as well as the yoga ball. Again, both of these will include an unstable surface, which you're going to increase the need for stabilization from the core. So I'm going to assume the shoulder position, the push-up position, stabilize on the ball. This case, I'm going to have one foot on it. I'm going to do shoulder taps. This is already much more challenging for me. I'm already getting a sweat. So I'm going to move this over. Now I'm going to include the yoga ball. Let's hope I can actually do it. So I'm going to bring it behind me, make sure that my feet are on the ball. This time I'm not going to cross them over. I'm going to get in the push-up position. I'm going to make sure that my back is nice and straight. And I'm going to try to touch my shoulders and make sure I come back to center without falling over. So nice and controlled, slow. You're probably going to be shaking a lot. That is your core struggling to keep you from falling over. So if you notice, I fell. Whenever that happens, don't give up. It's okay. Just resume the original position and keep going. You will see improvements over time. So we've already worked on horizontal balance. We did some frontal plane balance. Now we're going to do some posterior chain balance. So we're going to be starting off with a hip thrust, and we're going to be using a towel to make sure that we can slide our feet over. This is a fantastic exercise that works the hamstrings, the glutes, as well as your core to stabilize you. So again, I'm going to get on the floor. I'm going to have my feet firmly planted on this towel because they're going to be sliding over here. And I'm going to begin by initiating by pushing my hips up and holding this position. Then I'm going to allow my feet to spread out, maintaining my hips nice and activated. I'm going to come all the way back up. For many of you, this could be very challenging because this puts a lot of effort on the hamstring. So if this is too hard, you can just hold this and then come down, come back up. Now the balance component, again, is by holding my trunk, keeping it stable, and also bringing one leg up. In this position now, I'm really stabilizing to make sure that I don't fall over to the side. Another way to make this more difficult is, again, including the balance board. So I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to do this off of one foot, or I'll do it with my legs crossed. For this movement, I'll do it with my legs crossed. I'm going to make sure that my elbows are at a 45-degree angle to make sure I have a nice base of support. I'm going to push up. Now, because this is easy for me, I'm going to extend my leg, keep it nice and straight. I'll have my feet pointed, my toes pointed, and I'll bring it up and I'll hold it. Now I can either hold it or I can do this for reps, whichever you find is more challenging for you. Finally, we can also include the yoga ball. Just like with the towel, I'm able to move this, so now I can include more hamstring movement if I'd like to, but that's not necessarily required. So I'm going to come all the way back. I'm going to have my feet on the ball. I'm going to make sure they're nice and firmly planted. I don't want them to be too far over. I don't want them too far below. I want them so that I have a nice base of support as I push up. So again, I'm going to be down here. I'm going to push my hips up. And then, like with the towel, I can straighten my knees to include more of a hamstring strengthening exercise right here. And just like with before, I can also just bring up one of my feet, cross it over, and then focus on doing one leg. Or I can also do reps. So I'm doing hip thrusts. This time, I'm on an incline. And finally, I can always make it harder by doing one leg where I point my toes, have a nice base of support. This is definitely the most difficult. And I'll allow myself to extend and come all the way back up. If you've never done this before, you'll be really surprised with how challenging this is. And finally, let's say you're in a position where you don't have a towel, you don't have a surface you can slide on, you don't have any equipment. You can always do this on the floor, just like this, and it's still going to be effective in training you. For the last exercise of this workout, we're going to be working on the horizontal side plank. So what does that mean? We're going to start off by, I'm going to move this. We're going to start off by placing our elbow on the ground. I'm using a towel here just to add some extra padding. It's definitely not necessary, but definitely helpful. I'm going to bring my feet over. I'm going to bring my other hand straight on the hip, just so it's all together and compact. And then I'm going to push my hips up into the sky until I'm about horizontal, or at least a straight line, I should say. And I'm going to assume this position, and I'm going to hold it for about 30 seconds to a minute. Some of you might find this very challenging already, some of you maybe not. So there are definitely ways that you can make it more challenging. You can add one of these little balls, one of these little platforms to balance on, just like I did in all the other ones, so I can use this right here. Because this isn't stable, I can do this. I have to make sure that my elbow doesn't come flying off. Or, let's say that's too difficult. The next thing I could do is I could come back, grab my towel. I could come back, and let's say it was too hard, I'm going to bring my knee in, and I'm going to push off of this knee. So instead of pushing off my feet, I'm going to push off the knee, come up, same exact thing as from before. Finally, another way to make it a little bit more challenging, this is why I have the water gallon, is I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to use this as extra weight to push me down. So I'm going to come back in the original position. I'm going to make sure this water ball is directly above me, feet out, and I'm going to rise up. So now I have the added force pushing down on me from the weight of the water, and I'm going to hold this for about 30 seconds to a minute. What's important is that you focus on your breathing. You want to make sure it's nice and controlled, especially when it gets more difficult. I want to be breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. It's important that you hear yourself breathing. Make sure that you don't lose sight of that. And with that, I'd like to thank you for joining us with our at-home workout. You can do this anywhere, anytime. If you like what we do, you can check us out on Instagram or on YouTube.